Welcome to another episode of Power Alphas. I'm one of your co-hosts, as always, Sabby Piscatelli. And I got my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful wife, Amanda Piscatelli. How are you doing, beautiful?
I'm good. Welcome, everyone, to another episode. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing, babe?
I'm excited. Week after WrestleMania, a lot to talk about. Man,
I'm tired.
You tired?
I'm so tired. I think like today, it hit me even more because, guys, I used to fly all the time. Sabby used to fly a lot as well, coming from Oregon State and took red eyes. And the two of us are like, after the red eye, I just was beat.
Dude, I was making a joke today. I was like, man, when I was a young kid, I used to pop off those red eyes.
Right, be like ready to go.
I'd go right to the beach, meet all my boys at spring break and hang out, go all, a couple days, go out all night. Dude, last night we got home. We got home at our house at about 8 in the morning, and we were in bed at like 8:15.
And also took a
and slept like 4 or 5 hours
because we needed it.
Yeah, I ain't built like that no more.
No, we ain't built
like that. I ain't built like that no more, Ben. You know what I'm saying, dude? We're getting too old for this.
But it's also like when you're traveling, like every weekend, it's not that big of a deal because you're just so used to it.
Yeah.
And then I feel like when you stop traveling, like me, the last 2.5 years I've been out of WWE, it's like I don't travel as much, or at least more. I'm traveling on my own leisure. And it's like then you go back, you're like, oh, forgot what this life is like.
You know what is also, too, is I always say about Vegas. The problem is in Vegas, it's a 3-hour time change, right? And I've always said, you need a vacation when you get back from vacation from Vegas.
Yeah.
Because Vegas is just nonstop.
A vacation, yeah.
It wasn't. I mean, you were nonstop.
For sure.
Absolutely. It was a work trip. But they treat us really well. And I feel like, we had a good time. I mean, yeah, you're right. It was you were really busy. I mean, you were out all night. You wake up early for your makeup and
yeah, it was a great weekend, guys. We got treated amazing at the Palms pool, the Palms Hotel Casino, for the Palms pool event. So they treated us really well. We always get treated really well by our good friend Richard Wilk, who's the host over at Circa. So we go to Barry's Prime, which we had an amazing dinner at Barry's Prime.
Yeah, shout out to Barry's Prime, one of the best.
That was an amazing steak.
It was a Wagyu porterhouse that I was absolutely amazed with. It was obviously a chunk of filet, and then the other half was a New York strip. But honestly,
really tender.
We love our steak. We love our date night. I love a good piece of a good steak, and I put it in I was going to say piece of meat, but it was a little bit of
what he was going to say.
Pause. Yeah, pause. So I was making sure.
Yeah, you like a good piece of meat.
Yeah, so I was going to say that, but honestly, I told the chef too. We were leaving. The head chef came to our table, was hanging out for a little bit, and I said top 5. But it might be top 3 pieces of steak.
It might be top 3 for me as well.
Yeah,
and we've went to a lot of good steakhouses. Yeah, wonderful dinner there. Then we went on the rooftop. It's the Legacy Club on top of Circa. I don't know. I love Circa. Circa is also the one with the stadium swim, if you guys don't know. So if you're ever out there, 2 great places to go. And we obviously have a lot to talk about. WrestleMania 41 over the weekend. The Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania is always a big hit. Kind of like some of our opinions, some wild fan encounters that we may have had.
Yep.
So we're breaking it all down today. And first off, I want to say thank you for all my fans that came out to see me. I am so blessed and grateful that you guys are always there. And it always ceases to amaze me that I always have such an amazing fan base that want to come and meet me no matter where I go. And I've been doing this for, now like 2.5 years since I've been out of WWE. So I'm very grateful. And I'm also grateful for my hubby over here to come and support me.
Yeah.
And sit during these appearances. Guys, it ain't easy.
It ain't easy, guys.
Sabby was sitting, during my signings. Then we obviously had some great nights. We went for dinner. We had an appearance at On the Record, which is at Park MGM, which was fun. We got to hang out. We had our own little table. That was a cool place, cool little speakeasy spot.
Cool. It was really cool.
Yeah, but I think like the amazing part is having a significant other that can come and support you and not only be there for you, physically, obviously, because was my bodyguard as well. If anyone, got
/ bodyguard.
Yeah, got a little slap. But not only that, but also just to be there like emotionally and mentally because it's just a lot sometimes. So it's always good.
No, it was a really good time that we were there together. I loved every moment of it. I'm just so proud of you. I just like to kind of sit in the background and just admire all your hard work paying off and seeing all your fans, how much they do appreciate you and how much they do still love you, it's so awesome to see that, you've been out over 2 years and it's just they still really want to gravitate to you. They really want to have a conversation with you, which is really cool to see. And then I thought it was pretty cool that You had that digital screen on the whole side
Oh
of Palms
yeah, how
Hotel.
about
We got a couple
that?
pictures of that. That's surreal. And those are moments where that I would tell you to really indulge in and enjoy the most. Enjoy those process of like those 30 seconds of seeing yourself on a billboard of a side of a Palms Hotel in Las Vegas is something that is not only a reflection of all your hard work and how hard you worked, but it's a reflection of who you are as a person. And I think like for that gave me goosebumps just to see that. I'm so
That was
proud
really
of you,
cool.
and to see that is just it's humbling, but it's also it's I'm just I'm very happy for you, and I think that was a pretty cool moment.
It was really cool, and it's we got to Vegas late Thursday night, and we pulled up to the hotel, and we were trying to get a video of it, but it was obviously on the big screen on the Palms Hotel, so that was really cool. Shout out to Paragon Talent, Mojo, and Steve who hooked that up, and that was a really cool experience. But yeah, to see my face on these these things, it's one of those moments where it's like you sit back and you're like, cool, like hey,
No,
that's me,
yeah,
or
no, it's
hey
really
mom, I
cool.
made it.
Hey, Mom, we made
We
it.
made it. But yeah, it also is like a true testament for kind of a lot of the things we speak about on this podcast, just about how, having different opportunities come your way and being grateful that, being, doing good in the world, whether it's, being amazing with my fans or whether it's helping other people like my family or friends or whatever it is, good things always come back to you. And I always truly believe in that, like good karma. So I feel like, the more generous and the more helpful you are to others, I feel like, things just come back to you in waves that you've never, you can't imagine. And you also don't, anticipate. You don't really know what's next for you, especially when you leave, when you're done with a big company like WWE, and you don't really know what the next step is, which a lot of people go through. So I'm very grateful for that. But yeah, let's get into what went down at WrestleMania 41, some of the highlights, some of our opinions. Sunday, we were watching a little bit by the pool while I was doing my appearance. And yeah, what'd you think, babe? What was your overall thought process
Well,
of it? WrestleMania.
first of all, overall, I mean, it's they do a tremendous job. WWE with WrestleMania, it's their biggest spectacle of the year.
Yep.
So it's always a lot of hype around it. Couple shockers for me. Two shockers for me was one that we didn't see The Rock. That was a shocker for me.
Yeah, that was definitely a shocker.
That I don't know, where that story is going or if it got changed, but I was shocked that The Rock didn't show up. And then my other shocker, to be honest with you, was John Cena winning.
Yeah, me too.
John Cena, I know they maybe wanted him to get the record or break the record or, be the all-time GOAT, and I understand that. I'm just not following what purpose that does for Cody Rhodes or the story of it. But, I would like to hear some of the fans out there what they think about that, what they say about that. But those are my two shockers that I, right off the top, just thought about right away is like, no Rock and John Cena winning. Those are the things that kind of shocked me. What about you?
Yeah, I have to agree for sure. Did not see that coming. However, obviously I'm assuming it's gonna turn into something. And then we saw last night on Monday Night Raw, Randy Orton came out and gave Cena the RKO. So like you said, are we going back to some Cena Randy Orton feud? I'm sure.
Old school feud. Yep,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah. So
Two legends. I mean, why not?
For sure. And I think with Cody, it's like one of them things where like, yeah, it's kind of crazy that he still almost didn't finish his story in a sense, but it's also like, it's just going to keep putting him over more as that baby face that he is. So I feel like, did it hurt? I don't really know. Another shocker for me was actually Tiffany Stratton winning, retaining the championship against Charlotte Flair. I think Tiffany's amazing. Like I've talked about it before on here, but I also think it's kind of wild and cool from the experience that I've been there and, of Tiffany beating Charlotte. Charlotte's a huge deal in the company. Charlotte's one of the top women, and I think that's a big step for Tiffany. And
Huge.
I think she deserved it. I think she's put in the work, put in the time, and she's definitely going at a pace that you haven't really seen many women go at that pace. She's only, I think that was her first WrestleMania, to be honest, or at least. Yeah, I think it was her first WrestleMania on the main roster. So as a champion and whatever. So she's killing it, which is actually really cool. A couple things that were really funny that I thought was good. Stuff with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
He didn't practice driving an AT Wheeler.
Wait, the best
all
is we
through
saw
those?
the clip afterwards that wasn't the first time he hit. Like, he literally missed the whole ramp before he went up to for his entrance.
Surprised he didn't practice
But
that.
what I don't like is the fact that this woman, did you see? I mean,
did see it.
Okay, we know because we've been behind the scenes with those barricades. This woman was so delayed in her fall. It barely even went towards her direction, but the woman that fell is like pretending, apparently she might get some money out of this, you never know. But like she fell and she was pretending to like be hurt, not hurt, but I don't know what happened. But they had Nick Khan come out and like address her and like make sure she was okay. But not for nothing, lady. It couldn't have touched you. It's a barricade.
The barricade
and if it moved a
protects.
tiny bit, it wasn't like it would hurt you or put you down because the person next to her was totally fine. So I just thought it was really funny that like, is someone trying to get a paycheck here? Because it looked a little bit
Probably.
like, oh my gosh, ow, I fell. But like, you didn't get hit. Like, stop
Yeah, no, I
the
actually saw that
bullshit.
clip on Instagram, but
Yeah,
that's
I was
a little,
like,
yeah,
what?
it's a little ridiculous.
But I love Stone Cold how he just like gets up and he's just like for him it does not matter. Like if that was me coming in and on a tractor or whatever 4-wheeler and hitting something, I would be buried to shit by the fans. But because he did it, he's so.
He was a
damn
little
cool.
reckless with that thing. He was funny. He was
was.
really like it almost like he was surprised by the power of it. How
Yeah,
fast it was
like,
jumping.
every
like
time it went to go
like
turn-
you
like,
didn't,
if he
yeah, you didn't
turned,
like
he was
drive
like,
it before and practice it, or don't you have them? Don't you
Yeah.
live on a ranch?
Although with that space and between the corners of outside of the ring, I bet you it's a lot harder driving one of those than when you're out in the field.
Absolutely.
But that was crazy. And then
crazy.
the Monday after Raw, we got to talk about Becky Lynch turning on Lyra. That
Wow.
was pretty crazy. I definitely did not see that coming, actually. I didn't even know Becky was returning. Usually we hear things. I thought she was taking a little bit longer of a break. But her returning was really cool with Lyra to compete in that tag match, because they're both have similar backgrounds, both being Irish, and they have a past. So that was really cool. But having her turn on Lyra the next day was definitely a shocker. And I'm curious to see how that falls out and pans out because, Becky's been at the top of her game for how many years now. And it's like to see her do a heel turn like this should be pretty interesting.
Yeah. It's I think it keeps fans on their toes. And I
Definitely.
think it's an interesting storyline now that people are going to be intrigued by.
Yeah,
but
for
yeah,
sure.
good for her. Shit, good for her. So
No, definitely. That'll be exciting to see how it turns out. And then what about Braun Breaker and Sami Zayn joining Paul Heyman?
Sami Zayn joined.
Is that what it was? I think Sami Zayn. I thought I
Seth
saw.
Rollins.
I mean Seth Rollins. Sorry, Sami Zayn
Seth
came
Rollins.
back.
Yeah.
Getting mixed up. There's so many highlights, guys. Sami Zayn came back.
So Paul
and
Heyman
Seth
pretty
Rollins,
much picked Seth Rollins on the 3-way match over Roman and CM Punk. You saw that. You saw that, and then obviously Monday Night Raw.
The draft's coming up, babe.
Braun Breaker joined Seth Rollins, which is kind of a segue, I think, personally, is, Paul Heyman's next project. Next project is Braun Breaker. And Braun Breaker is tremendous upside, incredible athlete, incredible intensity. I like him. I like him a lot. I love his background. He comes from football, but it's obviously family in the business. And I think he's going to be a superstar. So I think that's just going to be the beginning of a segue to
I think
Seth,
that'll be good for Braun,
Seth
too.
and Paul together to start something later. But I'm excited to see. Actually, I'm excited to see that. I'm really
Me
excited
too,
to see that.
because Braun's, he's great, but it's also like if they're trying to make him be like a little Brock Lesnar, and they'll never be the same. I just turned it down. They'll never be the same, obviously. But like I think having Braun have a spokesperson like Paul Heyman would be really good because he brings so much power and so much strength into the ring that it's like. Maybe a character like himself that didn't speak a lot would make it even better. Someone like similar to Brock, like having that. So I think that's really good for him with Paul Heyman. So that should be really interesting.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Braun. I'm excited to see his future. I'm excited to see how he develops. And he's young, right? What is he like?
Oh, Braun's like,
Still in his 20s.
Definitely in his 20s.
Stud.
Yeah,
Stud.
he's young.
Go get it, brother. Go eat.
Babe, that was your last match with Braun before you got.
My last match was with Braun Breaker when he was he was really new.
Really green.
And they actually really green. And he didn't even know how to sell. Like,
Yeah,
he
I
didn't even
remember.
sell. I
Yeah, you
actually
told me
remember
that.
there was a part in the match where I punched him, he didn't sell, and I got pissed.
You're like,
and
"Bitch,
I
sell."
brought him to the middle of the ring, and I said, "Oh, you don't sell shit?" And I drop kicked him right in the face.
That's
So he
great.
had to sell that one. But no, he's come
That
a
was
long
3
way,
years
man.
ago now, or yeah, it's
3
got to be
years
like
ago.
3, right? Because I'm out.
It'll be
for
3 years
2.5,
ago. It'll be 3 years in like July. It'll be 3 years. So, and I remember,
to see him now. That's
I
kind of cool.
remember like, honestly, less than 3. I mean, even after that, I was like almost like 3 months after I left, 4 months, he was actually getting pushed, for NXT champion, which is amazing. But to see his development and how green he was when I wrestled him almost 3 years ago to where he's at now is unbelievable. And that's why I said I'm happy for him. I think he's got a tremendous future. I really do. So,
Yeah.
that being said, I remember when Bloom came to me and said, "Why don't you have a match with Braun Breaker? He's really green. Keep it simple. Keep it, and I remember I was trying to talk to him a lot.
And you were the veteran in
and
that
I was
match.
a veteran, which is crazy. That's when I thought, they kept telling me that I was the next guy to make the run at SmackDown or Raw. And it's funny, you get a phone call 2 weeks later thinking it's going to be a different phone call.
Right.
And that was a unique time in the industry. And I think Tino, the character, got caught in a really weird situation, because even when I was with you this weekend, I was just in the background, man. I'm not trying, no spotlight, and I must have had 10 people come up to me, "Love your theme music, man."
Oh my
like,
God, so
big
many
drop
people
ball, like,
were
just
talking
crazy.
about your theme music. I will say though, from all the music I've heard, Tino, Sabby, had one of the best theme music. Excuse me.
Oh, my song went hard.
And your song went
What a
so
missed
hard.
opportunity too with the song. Not
Money
only the character, the
comes.
song.
Money goes.
The
Remember I
song
used to
alone.
sing it?
I mean, it was funny when you have like 5 or 6 people in one day literally make a comment about your theme music. It's like, wow, like, okay.
You're like, at least I'm remembered for my theme
Oh
music.
my God, nothing else.
Well, that's how people are remembered when you think about it, when they're music hits.
Absolutely.
But that, and yeah, you signed some autographs. We got to start charging for
okay.
you, Ben. We
I
were
know,
laughing.
It's crazy.
We were
taking
like
pictures.
they would do the whole like come over, and then they were like, "Do you think I can get a photo with Sabby?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's gonna cost you." No, I didn't. No,
But, yeah.
Sabby was given free
Yeah,
autographs.
WrestleCon got a couple
photos.
free photos and free autographs.
Yeah,
but,
next time we may have to see how that works. No,
No,
some
it's,
little power alphas.
Yeah, just kind of like, again, man, like I don't speak about it much because I'm so grateful for what I've accomplished in my life, and I've done a lot, so I'm grateful. But I'll say it. It's sad that the character Tino never got the push he deserved, because I mean, I think the character Tino had a big upside, which
100%.
which is crazy to see.
That's besides the point.
It's
And
okay.
that just goes to show you guys how crazy this business is, and how, how much untapped potential there was. And they didn't, the machine didn't back it like they said they were gonna. And that's the shitty part. And that's kind of how it happens. And then there's other things that they back and flop, things that flop, and you see like, oh, like what was that about? And it's just way the cookie crumbles, unfortunately.
That's it.
Which, speaking to, it's actually really nice. I always say how grateful I am for the fans, but it's so nice to do these events, pick and choose which events that I want to be at, be grateful for my fans because I'm choosing to be there. I'm choosing to meet you guys. I'm not getting forced to doing an appearance here that I really don't feel like doing, and I will never see the money again that, I make from it. So it was really nice this weekend to be able to own my own brand, own everything that I have, that I've worked tremendously hard for, and be able to share that with the fans and have that experience with you guys, and, have you guys still be there for me. And, obviously the ultimate question is always like, when are you coming back to wrestling? Which I always say, I'm like, I need to get a sign for like my forehead. So, cause I run out of time. I'm like, I don't know when I'm coming back, maybe one day, but regardless of going back or not, it was really nice to be able to, enjoy that and kind of work on my own terms and be able to pick and choose what appearance I want to go to. And not be forced into doing things that I don't want to do, and be able to see that whole paycheck at the end of the day.
That's boss shit right
That's
there.
some boss shit.
Well, it's kind of like what's great. You always talk about, having your own brand, owning your own brand. Now you can pick and choose what and where you want to go. And you reap all the benefits, right? Financially,
Exactly.
And that's the thing that's a beautiful thing is, people think once they get away from the machine, they call it WWE machine, that, they're hit hard, they think life's over, but
Right.
there's actually way more opportunities after that
Exactly.
to monetize yourself and make your own brand and become successful in your own brand. And again, I think you've done a very good job of connecting with your fans. That's why your fans still love you so much. They want to be around you. They want to take pictures with you. They want to see you. They're very interested in Mandy Rose as well,
Right.
which is good. And I think, pretty boss shit that you could do whatever you want to do when you want to do it and 10x your money.
Exactly. Well, that's what I was going to say too. It's like, and doing all that, and I'm able to get these opportunities more opportunities come my way, and you just never know. You network, you meet people, new things come your way, and that's why I just always tell other people that may be in the same position as me or you that the faucet just shut off randomly when you least expect it, and to just give it some time. Obviously, it takes a little bit of time. Hard work goes a long way, but I'm able to do these appearances at my own time, my own leisure. I've been able to make tremendous money stepping away from the machine. And, that's not a flex. I'm not trying to brag. I always stay very humble, but there are opportunities when you step away from it. It's not the end all be all. And
100%.
it's a great spectacle. And I'm so grateful for everything that the platform presented itself with and the name that I built from WWE. But obviously now it's, this is where I'm at right now. I don't know what the future will bring, but right now, this is where I'm at. So I'm grateful. Yeah.
It's my sugar mama.
Sugar mama.
Sugar mama.
Just call me a sugar mama.
Oh, yeah. Just joking.
Yeah. So basically, so what else we got going on? We have the draft coming up, babe. Do you want to talk about the draft a little
coming
bit?
up, man. And I always have a special place in my heart for all these young kids inspiring to be in NFL. This is something they worked their whole life for. But here's the reality that I would like to say. And the reality is a lot of people's dreams are going to get shattered this weekend. And for that, I will say, don't give up. Continue to work hard. Try to get into a camp somewhere. Try to get into an OTA somewhere. If you really want to play this game at that next level, just because you're not a first, second, third round pick, fourth round pick, fifth round pick, don't put your head down. Don't give up. Because here's the reality. Here's the reality, right? There's 32 picks the first round. There's 32 picks the second round. There's 32 picks the third round, fourth round, fifth round, sixth round, and then seventh round, et cetera. So there's only like 250 players, I think 251 players that are going to get drafted in the whole world right now. And that's a very, 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 very small percentage of these guys that have aspirations to play in the NFL. So that would be my advice. And for the guys who are first round, second round, third round pick, just know from me that they don't care what you've done. They don't care what you did yesterday. This industry is all about what you can do for me today and continue to grow and play at a high level. Just because you're a first-round pick or second-round pick, don't go in there with complacency. Don't go in there with like, oh, I got a couple million to sign, I'm good. No, you're not good. You're not good. Because there's a guy there trying to take your job. There's a guy there trying to step on your face, and there's a guy there trying to kill your dreams. Coach Gruden used to have a saying, I know everyone has dreams of playing NFL. I'm all about nightmares, right? So these people, the best advice I got, even being a second-round draft pick, was, I'll never forget it, my coach said to me, the day you are drafted, the next day they're trying to replace you.
Wow.
So if I had a message for some of those kids out there, congratulations to everyone's about to get drafted. You deserve it. But please, now the hard work really starts, because there's so many factors in that level of football that you cannot control. That's going to dictate your career, okay? But the things you can control, make sure you control those to a T. And don't get caught up in, you're going to have a lot of freedom, you're going to have a lot of money, you're going to have a lot of financial time to kind of do your own thing. Make sure that you continue to do what got you to the big show.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so like the big message is like, take everything that you worked so hard to get to this point, but don't get too comfortable, and don't think that because of all your hard work,
and that's
now
a mistake
you're good.
A lot of us made.
Yeah,
I might have.
That's like in life.
We all might make that. First, second round pick. You might think, oh wow, like I got a seven figure contract now, but here's the thing, like they're trying to replace you that next day. I don't care how you spin it. Now, yeah, and here's the reality. You're a first-round pick, second-round pick, you're going to have a 3-year window, right?
For sure.
You could really suck for 3 years and you're still going to be there because they paid you that money. Yeah. But the point I'm trying to say is it's the reality of there's a saying in the NFL, you go from shit to sugar to shit in a snap of a finger. And that's just reality, right? Every single day, again, a Coach Gruden quote, best coach I ever played for, every single day you're either getting better or you're getting worse. There's no such thing as staying the same.
Right.
And so those guys that are ready to get drafted, I'm excited to see the draft. I'm excited to see where people go. And good luck to everybody. And I think it's a life-changing. It's a life-changing event,
I can't even
but it's
imagine
also hard.
the mental, the feeling of going into that, like knowing, oh my God, am I going to get drafted? And then when am I going to get drafted? Like you went through it. Like I can't even imagine that feeling.
It was a feeling that I'll never forget the rest of my life, in a sense of, you always hope and you wish that you're going to go where you think you're going to go, but usually it never happens like that. And I remember my mom had a huge party at the house. We had like 100 people at my parents' house. And back when I got drafted, it was the first 3 rounds. It was the first day. It was first, second, third round on Saturday. And, I was a first day guy, they say, but you could easily fall out of the first day, which because teams don't need a safety or whatever. And I remember it was the longest 5 hours of my life from the day the draft started. It went actually, the whole first round was like the longest first round in history. And I got drafted like in the mid-second round. And I remember, because what teams need safety. So, like, let's say a team passes you at like the 30th pick. There might not be a team that needs a safety. It's like the 50th pick now. So now you have 20 teams you got to go by that don't need a safety.
Oof.
So that being said, it was. I remember. I think I punched a couple doors in my house when
I can't even
people got
imagine
drafted.
the way you are too.
Yeah, when people got drafted in front of me, there was a couple safeties that like I knew was between me and them.
Yeah,
it was like Jacksonville. I knew it was between me and Reggie Nelson, and they picked Reggie Nelson the first round. Then I knew New England was going to pick a safety, and I thought it was between me and another safety, and I ended up picking Brandon Merriweather. Then Eric Weddle went beginning of the second round to San Diego, and I knew San Diego liked both of us as well. So I knew, so now I'm thinking in my head, all right, I got passed up by 3 guys that was between both of us. I'm like, oh shit, now what? And I remember I punched the door.
Wait, and you got picked the first night, right? Because it was
first day.
round.
I was second round pick.
First day.
I was
oh my
second
God,
round
what
pick.
would happen if you didn't get picked
here's the
with
funny-
all those people at your house?
Here's the worst thing. Yeah, all the people at my house.
What would you do?
Here's the worst part though. All the people at my house, right? We had a after party already paid and planned for at the Hard Rock at that time. We had the whole upstairs, this huge club. It was all
you knew you were getting drafted.
Well, no, I knew. I was assuming I was my first day guy, because some people had me in first, second round. And
what happens if you didn't get that after party? You paid for it all?
If I didn't get drafted on Saturday night,
you weren't going to an after party if you didn't get drafted.
Hell no, I wasn't going.
Hell no.
Can you imagine everyone leaving my house? I didn't get drafted.
Oh,
because you could easily go.
So
you could easily fall in the 4th round,
yeah,
right?
Of course.
And it's still not a bad thing. 4th round is an amazing accomplishment, right?
Of course.
So now you're rolling that dice, like, and again, I believed in myself. Oh, the anxiety was unbelievable. There's pictures of me at the party before my name was called, and everyone's having a good time, and I'm just like in the corner, with like just in my phone in my hand, and it was
when you did get drafted, obviously, was that the first night you got loosey goosey?
Actually, that was to be honest with you, that was probably
did you have a couple
the
drinks?
First night and only night that I think I was
drunk.
I couldn't put it like this. I didn't drive. We had a limo, but I didn't drive. But it was probably the first night that I couldn't drive.
Right, because you always like to just have like one drink, so you like can have control. Yeah, so
that was a really cool night. And I've said this before.
Loosey.
You know how you just had. In my eyes, I was so proud of you. I was tearing up when I saw the whole side of the Palms Hotel was a digital of my wife, right? Beautiful accomplishment. So awesome to see that. One of my biggest claim to fame was when we had the after party.
Yeah.
In the clubs, they have like the big
they come out
the whole
thing.
type. No, they had like they had the projection on the wall, and they have TVs everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So when I got drafted that night, there was a homemade highlight film that was made for me by Oregon State, like a TV version with music, and they played it in the whole club all night.
That's cool.
Like that was cool for me. I was
that's
like, wow,
really cool.
We're in a club, and that was pretty cool. But yeah, that being said, man, listen, I wish everyone good luck this week. It's definitely an amazing moment for any childhood's dream. But again, if you don't get drafted, don't give up and keep working.
Keep working. I love it.
Yeah.
Good message.
Yeah.
So with that note, guys, we appreciate all the love and support. We have some exciting things coming up that we will be announcing. Make sure you submit your questions or comments in the comment section below and hit that subscribe button. We are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. And we appreciate all the love and support.
Peace.
Peace.